Hello friends, and welcome back to my little cozy corner of the internet. I hope you're all doing incredibly well. I am in my mess of an office right now. That is a dryer. Long story short, we went to go change out into a new washer and dryer, and when we took the old ones out, there was severe water damage. So we don't have a washer and dryer right now. Well, we do, but they're in my office while our laundry room is being torn up, and Steven is going to be putting in new floors this week. It's been an interesting time over here, which is why I haven't been doing a whole lot. Plus, as I mentioned at the end of my last video, I've been struggling really bad with imposter syndrome. I don't know why I'm struggling with something so ridiculous in my opinion, but it's fine. It's been an interesting journey for my mental health at this time. I am starting to journal more, which I'm really loving. I am using the same journal that I had mentioned quite a while ago, which I'm actually kind of sad because my dogs knocked over like a juice or something that I had all over the front of it, so it got kind of like ruined. But this is the Day by Day by Jess Conti, but like, see like the water damage? This water damage is just following me. But yeah, so that was kind of a bummer, but I'm still working on this. And then I actually also got another journal called The Abundant Life by Anne Lynn. I absolutely adore her, so yeah, I definitely recommend these two. I only just started, but so far I'm really liking it, so I think it's safe to say that I recommend it. But I'm going to tag her channel down below because she is fantastic. She just comes out with so many videos that are so helpful with mental health, really. And it's just been really inspiring because she has one heck of a story, and it's just really nice to know that you can be put together now if your past was like messed up like I kind of was. My past is kind of like crazy. I have a story, and it's nice to just see other people come like have stories coming out of that where like they came from something like that, but now it's like they broke those patterns, you know, and changed, and you can be better and put together and have a beautiful romantic life even though you came from brokenness. So yeah, I didn't plan on talking about any of this, but it just kind of came up, so here we are. Anyway, I just wanted to hop on here and start a reading vlog because I haven't done one in a little bit. I know that, like I said, I've kind of been spotty with YouTube, but I kind of want to get more into it, just like casual vlogging. Like for a while when I started, I felt like all of my videos had to be like productions because there are a lot of people that I follow on YouTube who are like that, where like all of their videos are like cinematic, beautiful productions, and so I felt like I had to do that. I wasn't really thinking at the time that like, okay, but they do this as like a full-time job. Like I don't get paid to do this, so I should probably just chill out a little bit. And plus, like, there are people who are very casual with YouTube and also do really well with it. Like Mrs. Midwest is one of my favorite people. Like she puts a lot of work into her videos, but there's still a lot of her vlogs are still very casual. So anyway, yeah, I didn't plan on talking about any of that either. But yeah, I wanted to update you guys on what I've been up to. So I'm currently in my office, but it's kind of cluttered because of the washer and dryer that are in here. So I think I'm going to move into my living room quick and show you the books that I'm working on. Okay, so this isn't like the, I guess lighting isn't that bad. It's been very overcast the last few days, which I've been loving because it's been so stinking hot and dry, and I literally prayed for rain. And then it started raining like an hour later, and now we're supposed to have rain all week, so that's very exciting. God listens to prayers. Okay, so current reads. The first book that I've been working on is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. You guys. Okay, first of all, this book is taking me forever. Like forever. I'm having such a hard time processing it because C.S. Lewis, and he just has so much wisdom. It's hard to process. And of course, C.S. Lewis, you know, he died a long time ago, so it's like he talks like he's from a different time because he is from a different time. I'm really having a hard time wording this, but I think you know what I mean. He talks different. He uses a lot of really big words, and just the way that he words things, it's like, whoa, my brain had to work really hard to understand that. But it's also kind of weird to annotate because it's serrated edges, which I absolutely love, but all of the pages are like different lengths, depths, I'm not, widths, widths, yeah, right? So the tabbing process has been really awkward. So like some of them are sticking out really far, and then some of them are barely sticking out, and then some of them have to stick out really far in order to be seen at all, and it's just like, it's a weird situation, but it's fine. Anyway, the book though is just insanely good. I think I'm tabbing like every page, but oh, holy moly. It is so good. I'm highlighting and underlining and everything, and it's just fantastic. And he has a lot of books also that go along with this. It's not a series, but there's like 9, I think, books that this comes in a set with, where he talks about Christianity and things like that. But it's absolutely wonderful. I also have my little stampy in here. God is the only comfort. He is also the supreme terror, the thing we most need and the thing we most want to hide from. He is our only possible ally, and we have made ourselves his enemies. Some people talk as if meeting the gaze of absolute goodness would be fun. They need to think again. They are still only playing with religion. Oof. And I know I didn't say what this is about, but basically it's like C.S. Lewis's explanation for Christianity and what Christians believe and what they don't believe and mindsets and everything like that. So that part though really like just, it was so good because the Bible talks a lot about the fear of God, but I feel like people don't really talk about the fear of God and how he is love and he is our safe place and he is our comforter, but he's also like, because he created all of those things, like it's also kind of terrifying because, you know, he made it, he can take it away. The badness consists in pursuing them by wrong method or in the wrong way or too much. I do not mean, of course, that the people who do this are not desperately wicked. I do mean that wickedness, when you examine it, turns out to be the pursuit of some good in the wrong way. Goodness is, so to speak, itself. Badness is only spoiled goodness, and there must be something good first before it can be spoiled. And on the next page, I highlighted, it is a real recognition of the fact that evil is a parasite, not an original thing. And I thought that was really fabulous. But I could talk about this book for a very long time because, like I said, there's a lot of wisdom, but I'll just share those little tidbits. But it is so good. But again, this is going to take me so long to finish reading because I'm the kind of person that when I read like personal growth or spiritual growth books, I read like a few sentences and then I have to stop and think about it and like not only just like process it, but then I start thinking about like, okay, how could I have applied that before? How can I apply that now? How can I apply that in the future? Like, why is this important to me? And like, I don't know if everybody does that or if it's just me, but that's why it takes me so long usually to read personal growth and spiritual growth books because I get really into it and I study it. So yeah, this book, fabulous. Recommend 10 out of 10 already, and I'm not even like halfway through. I'm like about a third of the way. So, and I've been reading this for like a hot minute, but I'm getting so much out of it that yeah. Anyway, I also want to just note that I'm annotating it with these. This is my new favorite highlighter. These are by Mr. Pen. I will link these ones below in the description box, but this comes in a little set of different colors. I, of course, have to color coordinate with my book, so that's why I'm using blue. But these are the best highlighters I have ever used. They're so smooth, they feel good in the hand, and they look like watercolor, which is really interesting to me. These are one of my favorite pen brands. This is one of my favorite pen brands to annotate with. I love that it has a color side and then it has the black side. So it's really great to do because I like doing like multicolor or like different patterns of annotating. So these are pretty great. I will also link these ones down below. Now the other book that I'm reading is a fiction book and I'm having a hard time getting into this. I'm literally on chapter 3 and I'm really bored. But I heard that it's so good, so I want to stick with it. And that's The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Kelly Barnhill, who's also from Minnesota, by the way. I don't know. It's okay so far. I'm hoping that it picks up. Sandy over at Bloom Journals, whom I love so much, she said that it does take a minute, but it's so worth it and it's so good, so I'm sticking it out for Sandy. Yes, so those are my 2 reads. I have a little bit of cleaning to do in my home, but other than that, today I plan on helping my husband fix up the yard a little bit because we got some like big stone things to put for paths in the yard, which holy moly, I didn't realize that they were expensive as heckins. But I'm gonna go outside and set some of those up in the yard because he had to make a second trip to get the rest of them because they're heavy as heck. Yeah, so I guess let's just hang out and read and clean some stuff and garden some stuff and yeah. What are you doing over there? Just looking handsome? Yeah, you're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. I love you. He's such a good boy. And you're so handsome. Give me a kiss. I know some people say it's gross to kiss your dogs on the mouth, but I don't care. I love you. These are so heavy. Monday, I'm on my lunch break, and I just wanted to give a quick update. So I did get a little bit further in The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and okay, so it is what I thought of The Witch Doesn't Know Why people are just like leaving these babies in the woods. So it's so sad. She took her time selecting the proper family for each child, making sure their characters and inclinations and senses of humor were a good match for the little life that she had cared for over the course of such a long journey. So I think that's a really wonderful little addition. Like, she didn't just take these babies and just like give them away to people. She actually genuinely cared for them and figured out what was best. So I thought that was really, really sweet. But I only read this one for a little bit yesterday. I didn't get super far. But I did read a bit more of this, and I don't think I had mentioned this yesterday when I was talking about it, but I think this is also a good book for people who aren't Christians, who want a better idea of a lot of Christian roots, because I know for some people, if they're not Christian, they still find it very helpful and interesting to look into religions so that they can better understand them as opposed to just like judging. Oh, hello. He's so cute. But I always find that that's very respectable when people do that, because if you're gonna like be for or against something, you should at least know what it's all about and like actually know, and not just go off of what people think or assume, which is a huge thing with Christianity. So I definitely recommend this. What part was I reading yesterday? Oh yeah, about social morality. And I really like this one little part that says, people need to be reminded more often than they need to be instructed. I thought that was a really good one, because it's talking, like I had mentioned before, he talks a lot about how human beings just have that inner knowledge and knowing of what is good and what is right versus what is wrong. And more often than not, they just need reminded as opposed to like taught those things. So, because like even children, I think they know when they're doing something is wrong and they like to test boundaries. So I just think that's a really interesting point, but he's so handsome. So I just wanted to talk about something that I got today that I'm very excited. I wanted to talk to you guys about these hair clips that I got. How cool they look. I'm wearing one right now. I'm wearing like the mini one. These are called Caxi, but they're claw clips, but they hold your hair from the side instead of the back. I was influenced by one of my favorite influencers, Rose Uncharted. She has like hair all the way down to her waist, and she uses this one to hold all of her hair up. I kind of stopped wearing claw clips for a while because I read that story. Sorry, this gets a little dark, but I read that story of that girl who was wearing a claw clip in the back of her head, and then she got in a car accident and she hit her head so hard that the claw clip like went through her skull and hit her brain and paralyzed her. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of terrifying. And I've had like a very not anything like that, but I've had like a kind of an accident like that before. I remember because when I was little, I was a total tomboy and I hung out with all the boys who did like wrestling and stuff like that. And I was wrestling with this one boy who was much bigger and older than me, and he like slammed me on the ground and I hit my head, and I was wearing a claw clip and my claw clip stabbed me and I was bleeding, and it was like a really horrific traumatic event. I was like probably 8 or 9 years old when that happened, and it's been 20 years and I remember it. When Rose Uncharted showed these, I was immediately intrigued. So I'm very excited about them. Like I said, I got this mini one, I got a midi one, and then a big one. So I'm very excited to be trying these out. They hold very firm, and then like I said, they hold on the side so you don't have to worry about hitting your head on anything and being able to like lay your head back. But Rose Uncharted said that she wishes she would have had these when she was in labor, because she would put her hair in a claw clip and she did like all natural water bursts, which is like so amazing. But she was like, I wanted to rest my head back on the tub, but then my claw clip was there and it was so annoying. I'm very excited about them, and then she's also collaborating with them to come out with new colors, so I'm very excited about that, because if I know Rose, I know that she's gonna come out with like kind of like an orangey sandy color, probably darker than that, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm hoping they come out with like a forest green or like an emerald green or an olive green, because the green that they have right now, it's like super bright, which I was not a fan of, otherwise I would have gotten that. But I really like this bone color. And then this is the light brown. So anyway, they're a little more expensive for claw clips. They were like 15 bucks a piece, but so worth it. I've only used this one so far and I love it. Like I can like shake, I can headbang, and this is not going anywhere. Plus I broke my claw clip this morning that I was wearing. I was wearing a cute butterfly one, and I literally just, because my hair was slipping out and I went to go put it in and I opened it and it just snapped in half. So yes, very excited about these. But anyway, so yeah, that is my update so far with my books. Again, it's probably going to take me a while to finish these, obviously not in this video. I'm on my lunch break, like I said, so I think I'm just going to read a little bit more, not sure which one yet, and then yes, I will be ending the video tonight after a little bit of a reading update. Hello, I apologize for lying to you and saying that I was going to end the video that night and then I ended up not, but it's because we had guests and I didn't want to be rude, so I feel like that's a valid reason. But I wanted to give you guys these updates really quick, and I don't know if I've mentioned this or not so far, but I oh my goodness, I have been filming this on my phone, so I'm sorry if the volume or quality isn't as super great. My camera's just been really annoying. So, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, I have made it to page 118, and I do like it a lot more now. It is getting cuter. It is very YA feeling. Like, I think this might be like the youngest young adult book that I've read maybe thus far. So it is really cute, but it does feel very young, which I don't dislike, but I feel like because I started off my fantasy journey with ACOTAR that I have kind of more of an adult bar now when it comes to fantasy, but oops. So I will say though that I do like it, and I appreciate the characters in the sense of like everything is for the greater good, you know? Like the witch Zan, she brings these children to these families and she studies these families to make sure that they're good. Glurk is doing things for the good, and Antoine is doing things for the greater good, for who he is and good things. So I'm really appreciating that message. So I do like it so far. The quote that I liked the most so far is definitely in chapter 7 when Zan says, "There is so much beauty, Glurk. How can you possibly think about anything else?" I thought that was a really beautiful quote. But I also do want to mention really quickly, because I feel like I might get messages about this, like, okay, if you're a Christian, why are you reading books about witches? Because I know that I'm going to get that question from somebody, whether it be here or somewhere else. So I just want to talk about that really, really quick. The magic, the witch in this book, they're not real. It's the same reason why I love Lord of the Rings and why I love Narnia, because those magic systems, and the same thing in this and whatever, it's not real. Now, mind you, I don't read books that are witchy in the sense where like it's real, where they're doing actual witchcraft and spells and stuff like that, whether it be with tarot cards or crystals or herbs or what have you, where they're doing real spells. That kind of stuff I'll stay away from, because that's real. That's what the Bible talks about avoiding. When the Bible talks about witchcraft, I don't think it's talking about made up imagination stories that are not real. So I just feel like I should point that out. And not to mention, when it comes to things like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, they were actually both also Christians, and they have a lot of biblical allegories in their stories. Obviously, we all know about the one in Narnia, where Aslan is supposed to represent Jesus. And I know it's not as apparent, but it's the same thing in Lord of the Rings. I was reading something about, or maybe it was a podcast I was listening, talking about how Gandalf is kind of representative of Archangel Michael and stuff like that. So I don't think that just because a story has magic in it that makes it evil. So I think it very much has to do with the things surrounding it. I know that there are a lot of Christians who absolutely refuse to read anything that has magic in it. They're like, I want clean fantasy, no magic, which in my head I'm like, well, then it's not really fantasy, but to each their own. And that's fine. If you have that conviction, live by that. You know, but to me personally, I don't feel conviction when I read stories like Lord of the Rings and Narnia, because it's not real. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm sure that I'll get questions about it. I have gotten questions about it in the past, actually. On to this book, Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Basically, I cannot say enough good things about this book, you guys. I have made it to, I feel like I jumped topics really quick just now, but anyway, I made it to page 146, and holy moly, you guys. This book is so stinking good. I cannot recommend this book enough. Whether you're Christian or not, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. It's so good. Oh, the page just opened up too. If it does not help you, drop it. And I needed a message like that because I was a part of basically what I would consider a religious cult for 6 years, and I needed that message very much for a long time. Even now, I think. I really don't even know what to say. I wish so badly that I could just sit here and read you everything I've highlighted, but that would be a lot because I have a lot of tabs and a lot of highlighting and underlining going on, and it's pretty amazing. Like, even this one, I just wrote all of this, like just everything on this entire page. I loved the chapter about morality. The chapter about marriage was also really great. I love that he talked about how TV and books have kind of given us this false expectation for love and relationships, basically. They show it as if like that fairy tale feeling that you get when you start dating somebody lasts forever, and it doesn't. And it's not supposed to. Feelings come and go, but love doesn't. I really hope that I can find actually the quote that he used for it, because he said that choosing marriage is part of your will. And what do you know? I just opened up to it. Perfect. So it says, but of course, ceasing to be in love need not mean ceasing to love. Love is distinct from being in love. It is not merely a feeling. It is a deep unity maintained by the will and deliberately strengthened by habit, reinforced by the grace which both partners ask and receive from God. And it's just so good. Oh, and this other quote that I underlined right here, it says, "Love is the great conqueror of lust." That is so good. Also a really great chapter on forgiveness. And then, okay, the last thing I'll talk about before, oh no, there's gonna be two more things, I'm sorry. So the one thing I had said a lot in my ACOTAR vlog, because people come at me because I actually want a redemption arc for Tamlin. I know, I know, I know. But I just have a soft spot for monsters and like bad people. I really do. And I've always been made to feel guilty about that. Like people always come at me about it and they're like, why would you feel bad for this person? Like they're obviously evil. And I'm like, yes, I know, but like, I want them to be good, you know? And that's why I feel like that about a lot of like monsters and movies and TV and books and all the things. But I really liked the way that C.S. Lewis actually put it, because the Bible says to love your neighbor, and then we think, okay, like what about like the evil sucky people that we don't like? Like what about our enemies, you know what I mean? Because we're supposed to love our enemies. But I really like the way he said it, and he says, even while we kill and punish, we must try to feel about the enemy as we feel about ourselves, to wish that he were not bad, to hope that he may in this world or another be cured, in fact, to wish his good. That is what is meant in the Bible by loving him, wishing his good, not feeling fond of him, nor saying he is nice when he is not. Man, that was so good. Oh, I could talk about this forever. But then the last thing I'll point out before I close this out is the concept of pride. So I've talked about before how I think that the biggest flaw in humankind and just people in general would be pride. I think it's really the root of all of the issues. I feel like everything kind of stems from that, and he talks about that too. He really laid out the differences of pride and feeling warm towards something, because people will say like, oh, I'm really proud of myself that I made it through that, and that's not the same as pride. That's kind of the downfall of people. It's more so like, I'm really like fond of that, you know what I mean? Like the way he put it was just really sweet, and I really liked it. Like I said, I could talk about this book for so long, because I am highlighting and underlining the absolute fool out of this book. It's just so good, and like I said a million times, Christian or not, I feel like this could be really helpful. And yeah, I love it so much. So you should get it. But anyway, so I wanted to quickly note that my next video that I'll be coming out with is my 2023 hopefuls for the rest of the year. And I know we're like almost halfway through July already. What the heckins? But oh, red cardinal. I will be coming out with a video talking about the books that I would like to read over the next 5 months. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to be setting myself up for failure, but that's okay. I'm going to try my hardest to read a few books. So if you have any recommendations of books you would like me to read, please let me know. I have to stop this video and start editing it so I can get it up this week, because I said I was going to. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here and watching my videos. I love you so very much. And if you watched to the very end, please leave a little moon-shaped emoji in the comments. I love doing this to see who watches my videos all the way through. And just know that if you're one of those people, I love you so very much. You are so special to me, and I appreciate you endlessly. So anyway, thank you again so much for being here. I love you with my whole heart, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!